All right, folks, this video I'm going to show you how to update the BIOS to the B660m Aorus Pro AX DDR4. So how do we get to this point? Let me get it back up. All right, you want to type in, let's say you use Google, Aorus Pro AX DDR4. If you have the DDR5 version, you're going to type in DDR5. If you have the I think there's a B760 model as well. Yeah, so you can follow along with these directions as long as you search for the right motherboard, all right? Just make sure that you have typed in the right information. Because if you put the wrong BIOS file in, it's not going to work, all right? So this is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And I'm going to click on this support, not the one up here, but this one. Now, before we look at the BIOS files, CPU support. This motherboard will support every 12th and 13th gen motherboard or CPU out there, okay? This says since BIOS version. This is actually goofed up. 12th gen was, from a much earlier one, say F3. And then I9-13900kf was one, later than that. And eventually 13th gen got supported with this motherboard, all right? So let's go over to downloads. This is where you're going to find your information about BIOS. All right. So folks, starting at the bottom, I like to read these. F3, this is first launch. F5 is the one I actually have with my current one. And then, I just read these to see if there's anything out there. You see F7 added compatibility for i9-12900kf. And then it looks like the next one, F20, supports 13th gen. All right. And then not a whole lot of excitement with this one. Now, I'm going to be doing a couple of BIOS videos. So I'm not going to actually update to the latest. You guys need to grab the latest, all right? This is cumulative and is going to grab all the ones below it. I'm just going to grab, say, F20 because I need to make one more video. So I'm going to grab F20. And you see down here, if you have Chrome, shows you a folder down here, or the zip file. If you have Edge, it's going to be up top, right? I want to say show in folder. And then I can do it that way, or I can go to downloads, okay? There it is in downloads. And so you want to extract all. I just have to make sure there's nothing on my screen that's important. So then there is our BIOS file right there, okay? F20. Now we can copy this over to our thumb drive, all right? Now recommendations on the thumb drive. And this works for both types of BIOS updates. One, you should go with one that you can do FAT32. USB 2.0 seems to work better than 3.0 from that aspect. And then the other is I have a monster, maybe not monster drive, but 128 gig drive. Stick with something that's less than 4 gigs and have it completely cleaned out. You can see I have a bunch of files on here, right? That's not always the best thing, but this one consistently works, so I continue to use it. You guys, on the other hand, might have problems. So if your BIOS doesn't update, there's a good chance there's a problem with your USB and it recognizing it, all right? So we've got this file loaded up. Next thing we need to do is put it into the computer, all right? So I'm going to use OBS here and switch over to the PC that has it. And then we're going to actually walk over there and this is at a different workstation. So I'm going to take the microphone and walk over and then we will update the BIOS. And one of these days I'll get a wireless mic so that, well, actually I have a wireless mic. One day I will set up a wireless mic so I can just seamlessly walk from one to the other. All right, so we took the, I just unplugged the thumb drive from the workstation that I downloaded it, and then putting it into the other computer. Now I will do another BIOS update. This will be the version where you don't need a CPU and you don't need a graphics card and you don't need RAM installed. All right, so let's show this as if you came in easy mode for the first time. Here's a spot that you can do the BIOS update. And if you're in advanced mode, it's down here, right? There's another spot under system info that you can do it as well. But let's go back to easy mode. And we're going to click here. And then we are going to, you see right here it says F5. This is your current BIOS version. Then I'm going to say update BIOS. And then this is the reason you don't want a crap ton of files on here, because it'll get hard to find which one's which, or if you have older BIOS or BIOS from other computers. But we know it's this one. I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to click over here. Are you sure we want to update BIOS? Now, folks, this is where you'll want to check the weather. Well, actually, maybe an hour before you did this. How's the weather looking? You got a snowstorm, hurricane, tornado, any of that crap, anything that's going to cause loss of power. You do not want to brick your motherboard and it pretty much just become a paperweight, right? I don't know if this one has dual BIOS. Sometimes you can get away with wrecking one BIOS and be all right, but best not to have that problem. Now, this does have the ability to flash the BIOS without, like I said, a CPU, GPU. So you may be okay, but more than likely you're not going to be. So just be careful. All right. Yes, I want to update BIOS. Now, there may be a place where it says hit start. Yeah. And okay. And then just step away from the computer. Don't touch anything at this point. Now, total time to do this, you should be able to do the whole thing in under 12 minutes if you basically have everything good to go, have your thumb drive. Relatively easy process, but like I said, things can go south. So I'm going to keep recording this. And the reason for that is just so you guys, can see exactly how long this takes. All right, so it's going to reboot at least once or twice. Once again, don't touch anything. All right, so you see XMP has been disabled. You'll want to re-enable that. And then if you had your drives, if you had a bunch of drives that, and a couple of them have Windows on them, it may actually change the boot priorities. So you might have to change that. Otherwise, your computer might not boot correctly. And that's about it, folks. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.